Hello everybody, very happy to be with you again. We're going to look at Borobudur. This is, in my opinion, the best pyramid in Asia. It is the best one. This is apparently Borobudur. In its heyday there would have been less jungle lying around and taking over the place. In this video I'm going to argue, and just look how beautiful that is. In this video I'm going to argue that this whole structure is built on a pyramid platform. It is all built upon a polygonal pyramid platform which is hiding. But you can see vestiges of it if you look closely. By structure, I mean this Buddhist structure, all these reliefs were placed on top of an earlier huge pyramid which was plain, much like the other pyramids all around the world. The people that built Borobudur, they were interested in the reliefs, not the actual building of the pyramid. Well, a bit of both, but let's have a look, okay? Let's have a look. Now that's Borobudur sitting in the countryside. Doesn't it look beautiful, tranquil, wonderful? And of course, look, there's nothing else from this capital. This was Java. Everything else is gone. There might have been something over here, but it was too sacred to plunder. But everything else has been quarried. All the royal palace, you know, where is it? This was built 1200 or 1100 years ago. And I'm going to argue that one of these platforms is the actual structure of the earlier pyramid. This was a horizontal platform pyramid, or a pyramid platform. Now, on top, you can't see much in the way of anything polygonal at all. And bear in mind, this whole thing was restored by UNESCO. They totally fixed it up. Now, that could be why these stones are different colours. They replaced them, but everything is here. Before the 1970s, this would have been a mess. And there's nothing at all polygonal here. This is just stones which have been placed here in way of relief to illustrate Gautama Buddha's life. A ship from 1200 years ago. The Javanese were sailors. They were at war with their neighbours at times, the Srivijayans from Sumatra. Again, nothing polygonal here. Just excellent carved stones. Now here we have something interesting. Could be a cornerstone of some sort, a sort of anchor stone. And if you remember my Great Pyramid video on why it's not settling, collapsing, it's because of this, and it's hard to find a picture. There are polygonal anchor stones around the corners of the Great Pyramid to shore it up. Now I can't see any of that here. I can't find any other picture. I'm not sure if that's polygonal, if it is or if it isn't, or if it's been messed up by UNESCO. Who knows what's going on there. And then we come to this. Now, there is nothing at all polygonal in the walls, but if you look closely at the ground, what's going on? What's going on here? This is rather interesting. This is a polygonal floor. So I'm arguing this is the actual pyramid that's hiding. And later, this was built earlier on, and later Javanese came and they placed up more blocks on top, and they didn't understand the polygonal style, or they weren't interested in it, and they placed these blocks on top to decorate it. And look, you see there's a wave here. I'm not sure if there was a wave originally, but pyramid builders don't normally allow waves in their buildings because of the polygonal style of architecture does not allow it. Look, there's more of it here that looks polygonal, but not all of it. So there have been two different builders, and this is not talked about. Same thing here. This is from the other side. No one mentions this. And on top, no, you don't see this style at all. Again, this is polygonal. Again, look at some of these stones. And this is what happens when you carve polygonal rocks. There are gaps in them. Now, honestly, I'm not sure if UNESCO decided to make it a polygonal style floor or if it was polygonal or what's going on. They're totally different. Totally different to what you see at, say, the Inca walls, where all the stones are the same color, because I think that's a geopolymer. This is just different because they're all rocks from different places, and this is what happens when you try and fit rocks together. They do not fit absolutely like the Inca walls do. Got some writing down there. And this is from a blog, so a shout out to elegantsufficiency.org. And actually the blogger said, "My goodness, the floor looks like Tetris. It's amazing." This is the pyramid underlying the structure. Here's a little smoking gun. This is actually a polygonal platform here. And you look at the join on this rock here, how it fits in like that. That's what they used to do. That's what the pyramid builders used to do. So there is something else underneath all this edifice. And that's a stairway leading up to the top of Borobudur, and as you can see, you go up here and there's a nice pleasant smiley face to greet you, with a nice little weed growing out of its eyeball. And you find online these cross sections, and it seems, based on this, that there is something going on underneath. In addition, there's an extra base which has been placed on top here at a foot. So it's one structure on top of another. I'm not sure where those polygonal floors are, but I suspect maybe here. Here. They're not up here. You see? This is different. They're here. So this is an underlying polygonal pyramid, possibly. And this is the evidence, but it's the biggest pyramid in the world, Kolula, and you can see what's going on. You cannot build a huge pyramid all at once. It's just so difficult it's so much work. So you just build it in stages. The ancestors build something, and you say, okay, let's make it bigger. And I think I've tried to prove that in another video, an early video. It's only got 600 views. It's about carbon dating. The interior of this pyramid carbon dates to about up to 1,000 years earlier than the exterior. As for the Great Pyramid, we don't know. They haven't been able to carbon date the interior. They've only carbon dated the exterior. They haven't found anything organic on the inside, which is rather interesting. And you can sort of see from the top what's going on here. There is a plain platform, no adornments. And then suddenly you have all these adornments up here, as if another culture that was interested in the adornments placed something on top. And so how do you reconcile these two ideologies? They're obviously different. I think they're quite different. In fact, the shape is quite interesting as well. It does remind me of the Akapana pyramid in Tiwanaku, the Akapana pyramid looking like this. A pyramid platform. And this is from Fiji. Now if you look up pyramids in Fiji, like, you're not going to find any images. You type Fiji tomb, you find these pyramid platforms on an Inca-like angle with Inca-like cuts and almost all polygonal. This is the earliest, and this is, I'm just showing you, the pyramid platforms are worldwide. This is a very early pyramid platform in Egypt from Abydos. And you can see what's going on here. This is a pyramid from before the Egyptians started building pyramids, which is bizarre. They don't mention this much. It's from a book called The Complete Pyramids. Robert Temple also points it out, but guess what? They do not consider this to be a pyramid, even though It is. And more pyramid platforms in Mexico, in Teotiuacan. Pyramid platforms, and I guess you could call that a pyramid, but the fact is they're all pyramids, all of them. This is from Tenerife, on the Canaries. Thor Heyerdahl was saying in his later years, this is a deeply ancient home of the Guanche people. They were gingers. They carbon dated it to the 19th century underneath, and I think that's nonsense. It is ancient, but 19th century people may have interfered with it considerably. If you look at this is the whole structure. These are all astronomically aligned. This was not just done by early farmers. This is in the style of the pyramid builders. And of course, this is what they did to Stonehenge in the 1950s. So are they going to carbon date Stonehenge in 1,000 years and say it was built in the 1950s just because someone may have dropped some cigarette ash underneath while they were messing with it? And this is very interesting. This is another pyramid in Java. So in addition to Borobudur, there is this. Now I find this so interesting. Look, it looks like it's in the middle of a jungle. Can you imagine walking here? You know, how many days trek do you think it would be to find something like this? This is unbelievable. Sorry to disappoint you. This is a view from the top, slightly polygonal. That's a road. That's a car. There are 100 million people in Java. So, yeah. But look, that is a very nice view because it's on a very high location. All major pyramids are on plateaus. Giza. Newgrange you could call a pyramid. It's on a high mountain. And of course this is from this pyramid as well. It's called the Mandisuku pyramid. The same one. And you look at this snake. The bird, the snake. And look at the Inca-like work. Look at this floor here. This is polygonal. It all fits together perfectly, even though it's all over the place. Higgledy-piggledy. Some very interesting turtle altars. What's going on here? Imagine being sacrificed to the turtle god. And of course this snake on the stonework reminds us of Peru. And the Peru blocks remind us of Egypt blocks. And there's more. If I just superimpose, you see this is what the internal structure looks like, buttressing. And you can see that here. But there is rubble on the outside, and that's on purpose. That pyramid is very close to the Menkore pyramid in terms of ideology appearance, because the Menkore pyramid has a smooth aspect around the entrance. It's even shaped like an Inca block on a sort of quadrilateral. A smooth entrance, they've smoothed it out here, and then pillar-like stones around here. And I think this was deliberate. This is not unfinished, this is finished. They always wanted to make the outside rougher, and I think they did this for religious reasons. Look at the sarcophagus of Khufu, look at the so-called alien coffins. The list goes on. The exterior is rough, the interior is perfect. And I'll explain why, I think, in another video. Thanks very much.